Now it's a segment we call 3 to Try. The current topic, 3 alternatives to Diana's Baths. Diana's Baths is a popular natural area off West Side Road in the White Mountain National Forest in North Conway. It is beautiful. There's a reason why it's so popular. Cascading waterfalls, there's small little pools that the kids can play in. And what's nice about it is it's a short, easy walk from the parking area. It's a graded gravel path. I've actually pushed my great-grandmother along to the waterfalls when she was about 100 years old. I wouldn't say you should do that, but it is possible. We've done it. But because it is so beautiful, because it is so easy, it is very popular, and on hot summer days, it is just overwhelming. People can be parked on the road waiting to get into the parking lot for hours. So we're going to give you 3 alternatives when Diana's Baths is just a little bit too busy. You ready for this, Hans?
I am definitely ready. On certain days, this list will be appreciated.
Have you experienced Diana's Baths before, Hans?
I've experienced trying to park there, and it is popular for very good reason. But I'm curious to hear what you have to tell us.
All right. Well, you can chime in, Hans, with your own 3 to try. But here are mine. And the first one is kind of cheating because it's multiple waterfalls. But I got to thinking, instead of going to Diana's Baths, you could take a short waterfall tour from Jackson up through Pinkham Notch. And I would start this at Jackson Falls in Jackson. Now, Jackson Falls is also a roadside waterfall area, so it can be very popular, but it's usually not as bad as Diana's Baths in North Conway. You can find Jackson Falls on Route 16B in Jackson Village. Now, if you wanted to continue from there, you could get back on Route 16, head north through Pinkham Notch, and there are several fairly easy waterfalls to get to. The first one is Glen Ellis Falls, which is you actually park. There's a dedicated parking lot for Glen Ellis Falls. You hike under Route 16, and it's not even really hiking. There's a fieldstone pathway that goes down to the waterfalls. Maybe it's a couple hundred yards or something like that. But Glen Ellis Falls is an absolutely beautiful waterfall, very easy to get to. You can't really swim there, but it's a beautiful viewing area. And in the summertime, especially with all the rain we've been having, the falls are going to be flowing, and you just get this beautiful mist kind of like filling the whole pool area, and it makes you very cool on a hot summer day. After that, if you wanted to, you could head up to the Tuckerman Ravine Trail. Now, again, the Tuckerman Ravine Trail can be very crowded on a hot summer day when people are wanting to hike Mount Washington. But if there is some parking there, you could take a fairly short hike up to a beautiful waterfall called Crystal Cascade. Again, this is more of a viewing waterfall. There's no place to swim there, but you can view it from kind of a little perch with a stone wall they've got erected there, so you and your family can take in some of nature's splendor. And then if you want a waterfall where you can get a little wet, this one is usually not very crowded at all. From Wildcat Mountain, you can take a walk or a short hike on the Thompson Falls Trail and reach, it actually starts as what's called the Way of the Wildcat Trail, and you can reach Thompson Falls. It's, I don't know, it's probably about maybe a half-mile hike or something like that to a nice little waterfall, and there is a pool at the bottom. You could dip your feet in there or maybe even swim if the water is high enough. And there are usually not many people around there, so you could have that almost all to yourself. The next alternative I had to Diana's Baths, it is a little bit kind of maybe not what you might think, but the Albany Town Forest. So if you park, there's a parking lot off the Kancamagus Highway, not far out of Conway, and that leads to just a series of nature trails known as the Albany Town Forest, and one of the trails goes right alongside the Swift River. So it is beautiful. There are several places where you could get in, do some swimming, but it satisfies that kind of need people have for beauty, for some exercise. It's a very easy walking path. It's dead flat, and the Swift River is absolutely beautiful. Plenty of places to swim, get wet, and take in nature's beauty. And the third alternative to Diana's Baths, if you're all about just getting wet, beating the heat, having fun in the water, just go to Whalestail Water Park in Lincoln, New Hampshire. You can actually slide down all their water slides that they have. It's like, flying over a waterfall, and it's the best of all worlds. So there you go. And the parking there is usually not a problem, as unlike Diana's Baths. Hans, what do you think of my list?
Good. The first waterfall, Glen Ellis. Yeah, so Glen Ellis I like. It's very linear. You just go down a series of steps, 10 minutes or something, and yeah, especially after a rainstorm, that is an absolute, another popular place for good reason, just as you come into Porky Gulch, I call it, but Pinkham Notch, or AMC Base Camp. You have to do that at some point. Thompson Falls is worthy and certainly less crowded than the others. So just take a stroll. You go up the gondola in Wildcat or something like that, and then stroll into Thompson Falls. The other thing I'll note is you mentioned Crystal Cascade going up
Tuckerman
Ravine Trail. So I don't know how many times and I'm sure plenty of other people, have taken the Tuckerman Ravine Trail, and perhaps because the falls are just like 20 feet over there, we just walk right by it.
Yep.
But you have to check it out, because I don't even remember what they look like now that you mention it, because I've walked by it so many times. You just take a few extra steps, and those are worthy as well, but you can go right by them.
Yeah, it's really beautiful, and I'm glad you brought that up, because it is easy, very easy to go right by them. In fact, my partner, my fiance, I gave her directions. Her son was visiting from Michigan. She said they wanted to see a waterfall. They were in that area. I gave her directions and said, go see it. And I think they got up to a little waterfall right before it, where it goes kind of like under a bridge. You know, the bridge that goes over a little river, Cutler River, I believe. So she thought she had seen it. And she said, oh, that was very, very pretty. And I was like, I don't think you saw it. Because if she had just gone around the corner, and then there's like a little alcove you have to go into with a viewing area, then you see the spectacular falls. They're very big. They're very beautiful.
Well, in all honesty, I had thought in the past that they could alter that a little bit to, so you don't miss it.
All right, so those were 3 to try.